Brought paper.
Thank you, sir.
That are not here. that need the list. Rick?
Yeah, Michael.
Himley would be the one.
that?
Michael Himley is our fifth council member. He's the one that would sit right there.
Yep, and he will not be here.
He will not be here.
Okay, yep. We still have to list him as absent or not present.
I don't know if there's coming.
I doubt it. I don't think so.
Follow along. It's just happy.
No, that's fine. Don't worry.
The first one, I have a couple of sectors. You guys pick them.
Okay.
I doubt it.
All right, we'll call the meeting to order. Do a roll call. Anybody here for public forum? You can talk later in the meeting if you wish. And we'll do our local board of appeals.
Okay, did everybody find a printout? Everybody's got one, follow along.
Did you get a printout? Do you have an extra for?
Are you here for the local board?
For appeals
Or for the regular?
Well,
For your property value?
Yeah.
Okay, yep.
Okay, so tonight is basically the first step to appeal your value if you feel that it is inaccurate. The next step would be county board, and then the third step would be Minnesota tax court. Since Harmony has a local board, that is where we have to start. So I guess moving to the next page. We already filled out the certification form, that's the one you guys signed when we started. One trained member has to be present, which that is Jesse. So the purpose of this meeting is to give taxpayers the opportunity to appeal their market value or the classification of their property for the current assessment year. The taxpayer is responsible for justifying their appeal. They must provide factual evidence to the board to review. Local boards are responsible for running the meeting, setting ground rules, and carefully deciding whether to approve or deny any adjustments. These adjustments are only for the estimated market value for the 25 assessment year, and this is not a tax meeting. Taxpayers cannot appeal their actual tax amount. And then property appraisers are responsible for justifying the value they have applied to each parcel. A couple state requirements. The state mandates that assessed values need to maintain a median sales ratio between 90 and 105% in any jurisdiction with 6 or more sales. If a jurisdiction does not have 6 sales in a year, we can go back to a 5-year study. Typically with Harmony City, we're not gonna have an issue with that, typically in all cities actually. When the jurisdiction is out of compliance and the county does not bring it into compliance, the state board of equalization will do it for us. If this ever happens, the taxpayers do not have an opportunity to appeal their value. And it can be an increase or decrease in value. So maintaining equalization in each jurisdiction is vital to ensure each taxpayer is liable to their fair share of the tax burden based on Minnesota statute. Going to the next slide, we've just got some statistics. So you can kind of see the 24 assessment versus the 25 assessment in all the different categories, gives you the dollar amount in change and the percent in change. So we got agriculture, residential, seasonal res rec, commercial, industrial, apartments, and then county totals there as well. And all those values do include the new construction too.
We just went with the countywide statistics there, so it's just broken up countywide, the adjustments and percentage.
So, and the next two slides are a little bit more ag focused. We use this presentation for the township board meetings as well, so just kind of some numbers there. The yellow slide shows all the ag sales, or some of the ag sales in the county. If you look at the bottom right corner, our compliance is at 92%, so we're right on the bottom edge of that. So there was a little bit of adjustments shown on the next slide to kind of bring that up a little bit. Moving to the next slide, you can see that orange box, the top row is our pasture, what we call pasture. We're at 4,400 an acre for that. Building yard, we're at 10,000, so basically where your machine sheds are, the yard that you're mowing, driveways. Our woods is at 5,800. Our waste is at 2,000. And then our top tillable, you can kind of see in the top up there in the white, our top one is at 11,600 an acre right now. That kind of wraps up the presentation. I did have a few phone calls from Harmony. There was 3 of them. Everything we were able to settle over the phone. There was no adjustments needed. There was one that's gonna be walked through it.
Mhm.
So I guess after that, I don't really have anything else. I don't have any assessor recommendations. So we just open it up to questions.
We should introduce
Okay.
ourselves. I'm Andy Hillary, property appraiser. And
I'm Isaac Solom. I'm appraiser for Harmony.
Did you have questions for them, Carol?
I would just kind of like to better understand how they increase the value of a home. I have a 46-year-old prefab WIC home. And in the last 4 years, the value has gone up $40,000. And they're right now estimating the value of my home for next year at $228,000, which is a $25,000 increase from this year. And that seems a little outrageous to me for a 46-year-old home that is not a stick home. And I realize if we would ever try to sell our home, we can't get anywhere near what the estimated market value is. But we have been told by a real estate agent that I just had visited with, that out of the, if it's estimated at 228,000, I would be lucky to get between 159 and 179,000 for mine at the most. And to me, that seems like a big difference when you're paying a tax on $228,000. And how my home can be valued at $228,000, I fail to understand. And I'm not, probably will never appeal this, but I just wanted a little bit of more information. And Steve explained a little bit to me, because I wonder too, on the homestead credit, we had a big increase this year, and next year again, my house is going up 25,000 in value, and they're estimating the homestead credit to drop about $5,000.
And
to me,
Jimmy-
that doesn't make sense, but
Yeah, and you're speaking about the exclusion. You're
Correct.
speaking about the exclusion.
Homestead
Yeah.
exclusion.
So, oh, I'm sorry, yes.
Yeah.
But I just kind of, am curious as to how they really can up at $25,000 in 1 year when it's a 46-year-old home and not a stick home.
I guess the increase in your value from this year going to next year, most of that is gonna be on the lot value in Harmony. We went from $1.10 a square foot to $2.10 a square foot. So a lot of the lots in Harmony doubled.
Okay, and I have a big lot.
Yep, so that's a good portion of it probably. we'd have to talk about it on the phone at the office or something just to break it down exactly for you. But that's probably gonna be a big increase. And then the rest of it is gonna be from our sales.
Our sales study.
Sales
for
study.
Local sales. Yeah.
So basically we. have a
Sales within
sales-
Harmony.
Yep, so in Harmony, we have a sales study that starts October 1st of 2023 and went to September 30th of 2024. In that sales study, I believe we had 14 sales, and they were showing that we had an 83%, I believe it was, sales ratio, so that showed that we needed to up things about 10% to get back into compliance. So that's gonna be the remainder of that increase. Yeah, Harmony had 14 sales at 83.61% ratio. So then the county assessor put a 9.2% increase on every dwelling in Harmony.
Well, I was just very curious about it, and we've inquired before and really have never gotten much of an explanation, I'm sorry to say. But it just seems like the value is so high for a prefab home that's as old as it is.
Yeah,
And I
but-
lived in Harmony 50-some years, and we have owned 3 properties in town, but at different times. And of course, I know times have changed, but, and we do have, if you're talking about the lot cost increasing on the taxes, we do have like a lot and a half, so
Mhm,
it's a large lot.
mhm.
Our house isn't that big on it, but it is a large lot, so.
Yeah, I guess we would offer to, obviously this is the first that we've known about it. We would offer to come, it is your option, for us to come reassess the home. We can take your information and set up an appointment with you to do an interior exterior inspection.
It was just done 2 years ago.
Yep, I just want to complete, yeah, and that's fine, but I'm just explaining the process if you want to go forward. We can offer to do that, as to complete the process to, appeal to the county board at that point. Like Isaac said, yeah, it's just based on sales in Harmony, and they've been strong, over the last couple of years, and so, if you want us to review it, that's what we're here to do. And, I guess it's up to you if you want to move forward, or hopefully we can explain some of it to you. Whether you agree or not, it's
That's my
your
satisfaction.
decision. Yeah.
And
But yeah, that's where we're at.
so I understand, for instance, it's homestead exclusion.
Oh,
The
yeah.
higher your house goes, the lower your exclusion is.
Correct, it's a DOR calculation, so yeah, the higher the value, the lower the exclusion. From 96,000 above, from $0 to $96,000 of value, you get 40% of that. So, and then anything over 96,000, it decreases by 7% per thousand up to your value. So, yeah, as your value goes up, your exclusion goes down. Once you get over the 96,000, that's,
Well,
unfortunately, yeah, that's how it works.
That kind of gives me an explanation, so,
Mhm.
not that it helps, but.
Some of the people sitting up here don't even like it.
Well, I'm sure not, but, like I say, I was just real curious, and I just thought this was an opportunity
Yeah,
to get some
Definitely.
information, so.
And you're always welcome to come sit in the office too, and then we can actually break it down more specifically for you.
I will talk
Happy
to
to do
my
that.
husband about that, so.
yeah.
Thank you.
So I guess assess a recommendation to the board. I guess if you want to check and call us, assess recommendation would be a no change on her property. If they do want to go ahead to county board, we would do a full interior, exterior with them, and then, see if any adjustments are made, we'll make them. And then if they don't call, that's up to them. If they don't want, it's still up to you if you want us to do that, and then appeal to the county board if we don't make any.
If you want to do that, you just have to give us a note now and sign it and date it that you want to appeal.
Well, I don't think we'll appeal it.
Okay.
I just-
Okay,
I just wanted some explanation.
okay,
Okay.
yeah. No.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
All right. Anybody else have any questions or concerns?
Better think of some, because we have 16 minutes.
Once you stay open to at least a half hour, so,
We're waiting for people to come in.
yeah,
But I think we can continue our meeting and leave this open, right? We're not closing the,
Yeah, as long as you
Appeals.
don't close it, I guess.
Yep.
I'm not sure on the rules, but that's up to you.
yeah,
Greg's not here, so.
I kind of, yeah, attorney's not here, so we can make up our own rules. But if anybody's listening, we're going to have it open for another 15 minutes. The Board of Appeal. Where we're going to talk about the wastewater treatment bid award. Do you have anything to add to that?
There is, so Brett included a memo today, so have you had
I
a
got it.
chance
Yep.
to read that?
Yep, I read that.
I think he explained it better than what I would be able to run through it with you guys. So if you've had a chance to read that, I think that would be the best. So Olympic Builders was the lowest bid, and we did receive some information. We asked for some information from them just to learn more about what, kind of the jobs that they've had and stuff. And it's still, it's up to us. We can do whatever we want, but
Mhm.
there's no reason why we shouldn't go with that lower bid, the lowest bid.
So we're not currently waiting for,
We have
Uh,
6,
not recommendation.
So my
Let-
understanding, Steve, is they did reach out to a few people, if you read this, and got some feedback on Olympic.
Yep.
Okay,
We're still satisfied with Olympic being
Yep.
suitable to do the job. to do
Yep.
the-
there's no
Okay.
reason to not go with them.
okay, but we're not waiting for any more information.
We are not.
Okay.
Nope, we are not waiting for any more. I think we've gotten what we expected to get. We do have 60 days. So, I mean, if you guys don't want to make a decision, we can certainly wait. But I don't really feel any need to wait unless you guys have questions.
Yeah, I guess my opinion is if we're not waiting for any other information, but it's just here because we're having a special meeting tonight, right?
I added it to the agenda, yes.
Yes,
So
yep.
then, because the
Yep.
sooner,
Well, yeah, part of the timeline as we went through this was to hopefully have it in time for our last meeting so that the project can get going and be completed according to the timeline.
Okay,
So that's part of the reason why you see it here.
so there would be a little help in approving it
approving,
tonight
yeah.
instead of at the May meeting.
Right.
All right, well, I'll make a motion to accept the Olympic bid and the, what's the alternate. And does that, if my motion was that way, does that still let us make a change order with Morams if they come up with a
The
less
way I
expensive?
understand this, yes. So they recommended that the city award the base bid plus the alternate at this time. In the next couple of weeks, we can communicate more,
Yeah.
review the secondary option, if viable, execute a change order, and then go from there.
Yep.
So that's
Okay.
in Brett's. memo.
So that would be my motion to award the bid to Olympic with the alternate.
Second,
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for a vote. All in favor of the Olympic bid, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. And did you want a motion to approve the transfer?
So, yeah, so I did, just to kind of give you guys a little back history on this. I already had requested in December for the transfer of funds for the fire state aid and the supplemental for 2024 that we received in March. I had kind of already gotten permission from you guys. However, it now is in, so that funding is there, so we want to make that transfer. But at the same time, I'd like to go ahead and transfer the 9,500 that the city contributes.
Okay.
I'd like to get them all on the same timeline, so
Mhm.
then nothing gets forgotten. You know, we can have a good process going forward. So I just thought I would mention the first piece of that again. So I would like permission from you guys to go ahead and just transfer the whole amount. So it'd be for the fire supplemental and fire state aid, it'll be a total of the 23,899.28. And then on top of that, the city contributed amount for 9,500.
Just remember now, if they do get it done in a timely fashion this year, they'll get their state aid for this year, like in October. And then we would be giving that
Transfer
with,
again,
yep, but we would
Yep.
do it without the city contribution because we'd already done it.
correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. Good. Anybody have any concerns with that? Sounds good to me. Give them one lump sum so they can make their investments. All right.
Do I have to have a motion for that? Or,
I don't think so, unless some, the instruction from the state is that as soon as administratively feasible after receiving the money
30 days.
to move it.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, but the city contribution amount is kind of
That's
the,
the one I think she wants. more
Okay.
motion
Oh,
for.
sure. Okay.
Yep.
All right. I'll make that a motion to approve I'll just do both, the 2025 9,500 city contribution and the 2024 state aid to be transferred.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. How's your clock now?
Still 9 minutes.
I guess we would ask for clarification for Carol. We have you guys vote to no change it, so that way it gets deferred to the county. So if
Okay,
after I talk to her, she does still want to appeal it,
she is peeling.
then she
Okay.
still can.
Oh, I see.
if she wants.
If
If she
she
wants.
Okay,
just to give her due process, because if you don't vote, she can't, we can give her information, but she would not be able to appeal,
okay,
I guess, to the county board.
sure.
I got the feeling she was undecided yet,
Mhm.
in my opinion. That's, I know she said she doesn't think she does, but
This way she would still have the option.
she would still
Okay.
have the option. I want to give them that opportunity. If that's okay with you guys, I know you have to written thing. but-
It's okay with us. I just thought she had the right that she wanted to
Oh,
appeal.
yeah.
She doesn't.
No, it's
Nope.
not required written. It's just that,
Okay.
she just has to be here and express that she does.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
different.
so I'd make a motion for no changes to the assessments.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
I didn't waste
Yeah,
enough time
thank
either.
Thank you for that, yeah. So I'll make sure we cover our bases in case, give her that opportunity.
Yeah.
So since we have time,
We'll keep the local board of appeals open till 7:30.
so some clarification on how you explain that to her. So home sales within the town affect all properties, not just like properties?
Correct.
Interesting.
Yeah, we use our model is a mass appraisal, different than like a fee appraisal, which would be like a bank or an individual, using a real estate analysis where we're not comparing, like properties. Yeah, the sales affect everyone, all homes, in that regard. And then you start with the base rate, and then it's, the age, depreciation, quality of construction of the house, square footage, all that is factored in. To that based off the base rate, and then that goes up and down, obviously based on that. So, like Isaac said, with the sales ratio was under the 90%. So it has to be raised and, to get above at least 90. We try to be in the middle, not quite at 90, not quite at 105. So in case, we keep the minimum adjustments, year to year, hopefully, but, obviously Harmony's still strong sales. So, that the sales ratio is, our assessed value divided by the sale price. So if things are selling higher than what we have properties assessed for, then they gotta go up. And vice versa, they would go down if we got, it was 110% ratio per se, and we have to bring values down to get under, to that get mid.
So then obviously the new construction plays in that role as well.
The sales of new construction, not necessarily someone building a
Oh.
house.
So if it sells, it does, but not if they just build it and put it out.
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe
Yes.
I know we had some houses built, and maybe that would
Yeah,
explain
but
it
we
too.
also had those twin homes built and sold too, so,
Oh, yeah, they were, yeah,
factors
that's true.
into it all too.
Mr. Dolls.
Yep.
And one thing I've told people before, and I don't know if it's exactly correct, is that, you have to use your process to get those prices up around town. But if everybody was just valued 100,000 less, the taxes would be the same, right? Because we're,
In theory, right,
Mhm.
in theory,
I mean, it wouldn't change how much, we still, we
you would still
we
get the
assess
same amount
for,
of money, right?
yep, dollars.
Your rate,
We
your
need
tax
dollars.
rate would go up versus,
Yeah, so like in theory, with us raising the lot values, everybody's came up proportionately to each other. So in theory, yes, the taxes should do the same.
Yeah.
equally across the board.
as long as you ask for the same amount of money.
Right. We asked for a little more, but
Yeah.
Just-
It's always hard to get across to people that they don't do things in their home and yet their values go up, but that's how the market is. You don't have to do improvements to your home to see your value increase or decrease. in that respect. Does that answer your question?
Yes,
Okay.
yep, thank you.
yeah, thanks for the math lessons. 170,000.
It's a little different than what you were thinking, yes. Just a moment of silence for 4 minutes then?
Yeah, unless you got something you wanna dance a jig or do something.
You know, I just don't feel that
No.
fancy, I guess.
Yeah, I almost got your dad here today with John, but
Oh, yeah?
we were talking to that lady, so I didn't want to interrupt. So after.
When was that?
It was around 12:15-ish.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Going up the
Yep,
stairs.
yep. You could have. She would have handled it well.
Probably. You know, John looked forward to it.
She was one of our old jailers before me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so she was, and I know her personally, so it's,
You're welcome to keep the handouts, otherwise we can take any back that you don't want. But you guys-
Look at you, you're so smart.
I won't take mine.
so then
That's what I was looking at, actually. I'm kind of surprised Woods is only 5,800 an acre when you can't find woods for 5,800 an acre.
It's market value. Or taxable market.
Apparently, yeah.
Not yet.
We're probably still low,
We're definitely still
a lot of sales,
a lot, 7 to 8,
7,000 to 8,000.
Oh, yeah.
slowly going up for fees instead of jumping up.
Some deer hunters. Yeah, all that money for a deer. What do people think?
Yeah.
They should afford it, that's what I think.
You sell all your guns to buy
Wish it
them.
was me. I lost them in a boating accident years ago. Those are gone. Was I supposed to report those?
Don't ask me because I don't know.
Just saying.
If you ask, yes.
I'm not asking.
We'll see.
You have those people watching the live stream?
Usually a couple million. This is an off night though, so maybe a couple
69
hundred
we're
thousand.
streaming.
We should have a YouTube, the Kyle and Jesse's show.
Oh, yeah.
Might get some viewers.
Might,
But yeah, sometimes it's less than
7:30.
All right, it's 7:30. We're gonna close the Board of Appeals meeting. And does anybody have anything else for our council meeting? If not, we're adjourned. Thank you, everybody.